with
This
any other
conference will
computer
now be recorded.
as long as they are both connected to internet. So on brief, internet is just a connection which establishes an end-to-end path from your computer to another computer or the server backend. For example, your mobile data pack. When the data pack expires, only the connectivity of your device to the external server is blocked. You can redeem it with your recharge. So let's see what things are. Things in contrast with Internet of Things is an entity or a physical object that has a unique identifier or an embedded system and ability to transfer data over the network. So things are basically the devices which has IP address or MAC address that makes the individual identification over a massive network and also has got capabilities to connect to the internet and exchange the information. By these two terms, what is internet and what are things, you might have got a basic knowledge about what IoT devices are. Now, let's see what drives these Internet of Things. So what drives Internet of Things? As we have seen in our previous slides, sensor constitutes things in Internet of Things and connectivity stands for Internet. People and process. These are the people or the backend servers who are working on the data that is being sent from IoT devices. These data will be collected in order to analyze or perform particular tasks that the model is designed for. So jumping on to the life cycle of IoT, once the first step starts with generation. Once the IoT device is being generated, it is collect. So collect, it takes all the environmental data around it and sends it to cloud. The third part is analyze. The respective operations for the particular data sent by IoT devices will be computed here. There will be people or backend who will be manipulating the data that is being sent from the collect. The third is the react mechanism. The computed results output from the cloud will be sent to the IoT device for respective actions to be carried out. Predict. Predict is what makes the IoT device the most trending technology. The data that is received from the IoT device will be gathered to guess what the user might do with the device in future. So by this time, you might have got a complete knowledge of what IoT devices are. So let's see a few examples. Here, a person is taking an appointment to the hospital. So once the person takes the appointment to the hospital, the wireless sensors embedded in the parking lot helps to direct the car directly to the open spot in the city. So she need not have to wander around the town in searching of parking spaces. In downtown San Francisco, around 20 to 30% of all the traffic congestion was caused by people hunting for the parking spot. So the IoT has given the solution for this problem. Moving on to the next example, elderly people staying in US, Canada, and Europe are over 65. The risk of health problem was solved by smart home, and IoT devices. Here, wireless sensors throughout in his house, helping him to measure his health activity levels, sleeping patterns, and medication schedules. Along with this, an alert are automatically sent to the healthcare services and authorized family members if any abnormal activities are being notified. So there are so many examples on IoT stream. I could only brief few. So how large is this IoT market? So IoT had a very great market in the year 2014. Nearly there were 2 billion devices connected, and it is predicted to be 8 million devices connected at the end of this year, that is 2020. The sectors include home as home automation, transportation as vehicles of internet. So nowadays we can see auto driving cars, auto driving cars, and so on. Body healthcare, as you all guys have come across the smart bands and smart watches. These smart watches will update your activities such as how many steps you have took, how many calories you have burned, and temperatures, so many data directly to your smartphone via internet. Through this, you can notify, the smartwatch will notify every activity of yours directly to your phone with internet. You can monitor it at any time. Buildings and cities, as we have previously discussed in examples, as smart cities and smart building. So today we will be having a short hands-on session wherein you will be using Firebase application. Firebase is a Google mobile application development platform that helps you to build, improve, and grow your application. So Firebase is a mobile application. Today in our small hands-on session, we will be using this Firebase as a cloud. So we will be programming using Python. Python is the most trending programming language used by many of the developers as it is simple for both coding and analyzing. So the environment that we will be using today is Google Colab. Google Colab is a free cloud software for Python programming language. It provides support for deep learning applications using popular libraries such as Keras, TensorFlow, PyTorch, and OpenCV. So now we will be moving on to hands-on session. I will be leaving a link very shortly in the chat box. So before that, I want everyone to hop on to your favorite browser, whether it may be Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Just go to the Chrome or Mozilla Firefox and open a new tab. When everybody are ready with the new tab, please notify me in the chat box so that I can continue.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Saptagiri. So, if everyone are audible and able to see the screen, please do reply in the chat box. I think one of the participant is not able to hear. That's why I want a confirmation whether everyone are audible and see the screen.
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, you can continue.
Okay, if everybody are ready with the first tab, so let's type Firebase, that is Firebase, and click enter. People with both mobile and laptop can access this hands-on session. So once you type Firebase and click enter, the first link says Firebase. Click on the link.
Okay.
So this will be your Firebase first page, and for few people it will ask to log in. Please log in with your Google credentials. And once you log in, on the right hand top corner you can see Go Console, which will be prior to your account. Please click on Go Console, go to console.
Go to console. Yeah.
I'll be repeating the step. Go to new tab in your favorite browser. Type Firebase, Firebase, click enter. And the first link says Firebase. Click on the link. Once when you click on the link, the right hand top corner you will be having go to console option, click on the option. And that will direct you to the console of Firebase, Google Firebase.
Saptagiri, hold for a minute. You just go a little bit slow because the
Yeah,
participant
ma'am.
is asking for a second to wait.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
just be a bit slow.
yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Participants, once you are done with first part, you just reply in the chat box, you are done, and then the speaker will go for the next one.
It's Firebase console.
Yeah. Okay. Once you are in the Firebase console, the first option says add project. Click on add project.
Okay.
By clicking on to add project, it will ask you for the name. Give any name as it is user defined. So I will give it as IoT Python.
Please hold on. A lot of internet issues. Please hold on.
Yeah, ma'am, sure. Once you have given your name, click on continue. By clicking continue, this will ask few things. You can just click continue.
Okay.
Once you are done till here, please reply me in the comment section so I can move forward. So here it will ask you to choose a Google Analytics account. Just click on default account for Firebase and click create project. By clicking on to this, we can see over here that it is creating a project. So I'll be repeating this step again. So you need not have to worry if you have missed somewhere. Once this project is complete, I'll repeat and once again so that you guys can carry on from the step you're stuck in.
Okay.
So once your project is ready, click continue. So now I'll be repeating a step how to create a project. So when you're on Firebase console, you will be seeing a first option says add project. Click on add project. Give the name of your choice. Once you're done filling with the name, click continue. So again, click continue. Here it will ask you for the Google Analytics account. So click on the drop down option and click as default account for Firebase. And then click on create project. So this will take time depending upon the internet connection. Once your project is ready, click on continue.
Okay, now wait for some time, Saptagiri. Let them also create the project. And once you're done with creating the project, please do reply in the chat box so that we can move forward.
Okay, got it. The project is created.
Okay,
All right.
we'll move forward.
So this is the page. Sorry. Okay. This will be the page for your project, and on the left hand top you can see your project name. Just scroll down a bit and you can see there are more options you can see. And now I want you to go to the left hand corner. Under development option, you can see an option called database. So click on database. On the left hand corner options, you will be having 4 options that says develop, quality, analytics, and grow. Under develop, the second option says database. Click on database once you have created your project.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you are on your database, it will ask you which database are you in required of. So scroll down a bit and you can see a real-time database over here. So click on create project. By clicking on to create project, it will ask you for security rules for real-time database. So this is basically when an IoT device is to be created, there are so many security concerns we have to go through. So for our model, we will be, for our small hands-on session, we will be going on to default security settings that is already previously written for Google Firebase applications. So for going to that, click on start in test mode, which is option 2. And on the right hand bottom, click enable.
Please hold on. The internet is very slow. It's still stuck at the database. Please hold on.
Yes, ma'am. I'll repeat the step again, ma'am, if necessary.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'll be repeating this step once again. So once you're on your project phase, go to the left hand side, and under development option, the second option says database. Click on database. Under the database page, you will be asked to the kind of database which you are required of. So scroll down a bit and there will be an option called real-time database. Click on the real-time create database under real-time database. By clicking onto this, a dialog box opens, says that security rules for real-time database, and I want you to select the second option which says start in test mode. Click on start in test mode and click on enable, which will be the right bottom corner of the dialog box. Click on enable. By clicking on the enable, you guys will be directed to a database page where you can see the data that will be sent from your local computer here. We will be moving on to that session shortly once everybody is completed till this step. You can confirm me in the chat box. So for Kirtana, I'll be repeating the step for you. So Kirtana, when you are on the first page of your project, go to the right side of the options, and under development option, the second option says database. Click on the database. That will direct the page for your database. And while you are in this page, scroll down a bit, which till it says the real-time database. Under real-time database, click on create database. And when the dialog box open for security rules for your real-time database, click on start in test mode, which is option 2. By clicking onto it, there will show an error warning. Please ignore it and click on enable. The time when you click on enable, it will direct you to your database page. And in here, for few people, the security warning which will not be showing. And now everyone click on rules, which is just next to the data on the left top of your screen. And only for few of you guys, the rules will be stated as false, which is showing true here. That will be only for few guys. All you have to do is just delete that false and type true. The moment you change anything under rules, there will be a notification popping up which says unpublished changes. Right there, after changing it, yeah, I'll repeat it again, I'll complete this. So after changing, go for publish option and click on publish. This step is only for people who are having rules as false. Under rules, under security rules, dot read and dot write will be stated as false for few people. Only those people have to follow the steps. Once you change that dot read as true and dot write as true, click on the publish option. So I'll be repeating this step again. Once you are in the database of your project. On the top left, it says data, rules, backups, and usage. Click on rules. So by clicking on the rules, you'll have 3 lines of code which says rules dot read dot write. For few people, dot read and dot write will be showing as false. Change that false as true, and while you change, there will be a notification popping up and says unpublished. So click on publish option and your rules will be published and you will be good to go. Once you are done till this stage, please confirm me with the chat box that you're done. Once you're done till this step, go for the new tab. In new tab, type Colab, that is COLAB, and click enter. With this, the first link says Google Colab. Click on the first link. By clicking onto the first link, you guys will be directed to the Google Colab page. And for few of them who are not logged into your browser, you will be asked to log in. Please log in with your Google credentials. I'll be repeating this step. So once you are on the new tab of your browser, type Colab, that is COLAB, and press enter. The first link says Google Colab. So click on Google Colab. So here, when you're on the first page of Google Colab, the left hand bottom, presiding to cancel, it says new notebook. Click on new notebook. So this notebook right now, what you're seeing is the Python environment which we will be working on. This is one of the best environment that I have seen till date, which is very much easy to import all the modules and very fast. So once you're done opening the Google Colab page, please confirm me in the chat box. Yeah, okay. I'll repeat the collab. Once you open the browser, type collab, press enter. By getting on to collab, the first link says Google Colab. Click on Google Colab. When you are on the first page of Google Colab, the right hand corner of the dialog box will say new notebook and cancel. Click on new notebook. So by clicking on to new notebook, a new notebook will be opened for you guys. So once you're done till this step, I'll be sharing a link in the chat box. So please confirm me before that you're done till this here. Now I'll be sharing a link in your chat box. Please click on the link. So both the links will take you to the same page. By clicking onto the link, you will be directed to the programming page that I've created for you in order to make this programming simple. So is everybody able to access my link? Please confirm me in the chat box. Yeah, thank you so much. So the programming here, it is written in Python. I'll explain the program for you guys now. So the first option says, the first cell says pip install Python Firebase. So we will be using Firebase environment under Python, so that we need to install few libraries that supports Python to Firebase, so that we will be installing the Firebase. So the first line says pip, which stands as preferred installer program, and install Python Firebase. The second cell says from Firebase, import Firebase. So on the first cell, we have just installed the Firebase to Python. Now we are calling it for our program. Second line says Firebase is just a variable that is user defined, and for that variable I'm assigning Firebase.Fire application. The Fire application here stands for the application that we have previously created in the Firebase link. and your link, I will tell which link you have to paste here. This link that you're going to paste here will direct this particular cell to the Firebase application that you're running. And the third line, which says data, will hold the data which is on 4th, 5th, and 6th line. The data may be user defined, that there is no need that you have to send this particular data itself. So it can be humidity, temperature, blood pressure levels, anything as such. For this session, I'll be sending name, email, and phone. And the 8th line of the second cell is a variable named result. Here in this line, firebase.post is the command line that we are using here with the link to your Firebase database, and we will be sending data which we have defined in line 3. So firebase.post is the line which will post data to your Firebase, and we will be printing the acknowledgement. So now font size. So now all you have to do is on the first cell, the left hand corner of the cell, there is a room for options. Click on options, and the first option says copy cell. I want you to copy cell on my notebook page. So click on copy cell. Get back to the Google Colab page that you have opened. All you have to do is on the first cell which says exclamation mark with pip install Firebase, on that cell, go to the right hand corner under options. You will be having copy cell. So click on copy cell. Go back to the notebook page that you have created and press Ctrl V. By pressing Ctrl V, the copied cell will be pasted on your page. I'll repeat the step. The page which, go back to the page that I have sent you the link. Under the same cell on the right hand corner options, the first option says copy cell. Click on copy cell options. Get back to the page that you have created on Google Colab. Press Ctrl V. By pressing Ctrl V, you guys can paste the code in your page. Once you are done pasting, please tell me in the chat box. I have sent you a link. In that link, the first cell says pip install Python Firebase. Under the same cell right hand corner, you will be having an option. So click on option. The first option says copy cell. Click on copy cell. Get back to your notebook and press Ctrl V. By this, you will be pasting the first cell. And now I want you to run this. The people who are using on laptop, press Shift Enter, and people you are using in mobile, click on the run on the right hand corner of the cell. By clicking the run button, the Python on Google Colab will run the module and Firebase will be installed in your page. In mobile, all you have to do is click on the first cell option. As you paste it in WhatsApp, go to the first cell, hold the cell for a minute or a second, and you will be getting an option called paste, and click on paste so that it will be pasted. And please do the same for the second cell in my link page. On the second cell of the page, go to the right hand corner under options, copy cell, and paste the same cell on your notebook by pressing Ctrl V. Once you're done till here, I want you guys to confirm me so that I'll be telling the next step. For Lavanya, you have to click on the run button, which will be exactly on right side of the particular cell. Okay, now, once you're done till here, I want you guys to go back to your Firebase page or the Firebase window. Now, in your Firebase, under your database, it says HTTP and followed by your project name .firebase.io.com. Copy the link. Once, if you just click on the link itself will be selected by Control C. You can copy the link. Once you are done copying, paste it exactly on your link. Your link option is on the second line of second cell, so paste it there. I'll be repeating this step. Go to the Firebase database page that we previously created, and under your dialog box of your database, there will be a link on the left hand corner which says HTTPS followed by your project name .firebase.io.com. Just by clicking onto the link itself will get selected. Use Ctrl C or right click copy option, and once you are done copying, go to the second line of your second cell, and I have given a room to you guys to paste the link which says your link. Paste it exactly on your link. Copy that your link and press Ctrl V so that it will be pasted. And the second step is under the same dialog box, just below the link and the warning, you can see your project name. So I want you guys to copy that project name. You can, for reference, you can see the screen share. I have selected it. I want you guys to select this, which will be just before none, which says your project name and your reference ID. So copy that too and paste it on the 8th line of your second cell, exactly on the room of your link. For Dhanush, if you're using on mobile, you have to select the particular line, your link, and delete it, and by holding there you will get a paste option, and then you have to paste it. So if everybody are done till pasting, so please confirm me in the chat box. Yeah, okay, I'll zoom in a bit. So you are just before the HTTP link that I've previously told, it will be exactly below it, which says your project name and your identification code. I want you to copy that project name and identification code. By copy it by pressing Ctrl C or right click copy and paste it exactly on the link which says your link on cell number 2, line number 8 for result variable. Few people will be pasting your link including the colon, so please delete the colon on line number 8 of the second cell. Once you are done pasting, run the cell. For people who are using in mobile, you can click on run, which is exactly to left corner of the cell on top. And for people you are using in laptop, you can press just shift enter and the cell will run. So few people have room to get errors here. If you have got any error, please let me know in the chat box. I'll help you to clear those errors. So by running this cell, you will get an auth as acknowledgement, which will be alphanumeric value. Need not to worry about it. So by running this particular cell, the data which you have given in line number 3 of your second cell will be sent to your Firebase database page that we have previously created. You can just minimize your Google Colab screen and get back to your Firebase page, and you can see the data is here. So if everyone have got your data on the Firebase page, confirm me with the Google chat box. If anybody has got error, please confirm it me with the chat box. So for Dhanush, the link that I've sent for you will not be able to run the code. So I have asked you guys to create another page of Google Colab under your account, and you have to copy all the cells from my Google page to your Google Colab page, and you have to run it in your Google Colab page. Only then the code cell will run. So the link that I've sent to you is only read mode. Okay, for Pawan, you might have gone wrong on selecting, not on selecting, on pasting the link. So for you, in line number 8 of your second cell, which says result is equal to firebase.post and starting with semicolon followed with the / and your project name with your project ID, you will be having a colon here. So backspace that colon. By backspacing the colon, you will only be left with / details, data. And then if you run, you will get the result. So I'll be repeating this step. Once you copy paste the second cell from my Google Colab page to your Google Colab page, in line number 2, it says Firebase is equal to firebase.fire application and a room, there will be a room for your link. So go to your Firebase page, select the first link which says https followed by your project name.firebase.io.com. Select that link and paste it on your link room that I'm selecting here. Paste it there, the link that you have copied from your Firebase.
Okay. Ankita Shanbag, the participant, please kindly mute yourself.
After pasting, you just have to run the cell and you can see your data in the Firebase. So guys, you can run this cell as many times you want, so that now every time you run the cell, your data will be sent to Firebase. You can change your name, you can change your mail address, and you can change your phone number, and you can keep running the cell as many number of times you want, and the data will be updated in your Firebase. So once you're done this step, please confirm me with the chat box so that I can proceed for retrieving your data from your database.
Participant name Ankita Shanbag. Kindly mute yourself, please. Ankita. Participant name Ankita. Ankita Shanbag.
Okay, now I want you to copy the third cell which is on my link page by clicking on the option which is right hand corner of the cell, copy cell, get back to your page, paste the cell, and do exactly the copy paste option from cell 2 line number 2 to cell 3 line number 2. So copy the same link and paste it on the cell 3 line number 2 exactly on the wordings on your link. And for cell 3 line number 3, copy the link which is from cell 2 line number 8 as I'm doing here. Copy that link and paste it here on cell 3 line number 3. And once you are done pasting, click on run if you are using on your mobile. Click shift enter if you are using on your laptop, so that the cell will execute. Once the cell execution completes, a dialog box will pop down as a result, which will give you the mail address, your name and phone number that you have previously sent from cell number 2. If you guys have any doubt till this step, please let me know in the comment chat section. Yeah, I'll be repeating it for Priyanka. Priyanka, all you have to do is copy the third cell from the page link that I've sent to you and paste it on your Google Colab page. And in the line number 3 of the third cell, it has a room state your link. So copy the link from your cell 2 and line number 2, which you have previously done. Same link, just copy the link and paste it down below here. Let me zoom in for you. So as you can see, just copy the same link, the above link, this link, and paste it here on cell 3, line number 2. Once you're done pasting, do the same for cell 2, line number 8. Copy that link which says your project name followed by the ID. Copy that and paste it in cell 3, line number 3, and run the cell. By running that cell, you will be retrieving back your data that you have sent from cell number 2. So this is the hands-on session. So if you're done till here, I'll explain what exactly happened here. Please confirm me in the chat box. All right, now I'll be explaining what exactly has happened here. Oh, let me wait for a minute so that everyone here can complete it. Once when you're completing, please let me know in the chat box. Okay, now at line number 2, what you have done is Firebase application link, which will be directing your link to the Firebase application, but not specifically to your project. At line number 8, the which says result is equal to firebase.post, you are giving the link to your exact project database, so that the data that is written in line number 3 will be sent there under the folder detail, which is highlighted here. This folder is user defined. On the forwards, using /, you can create as many directories that you guys want. At line number 3, the details here, it is user defined. You can send any data that you like. It might be the temperature, it might be the humidity value, or the blood pressure value relating to IoT in smart hospitals. So once you run this cell as many times as you like with different IDs or different names, you will be given an acknowledgement with the alphanumeric data. This data is a partition that for each and every time you run this cell. So switching on to the Firebase tab, here in your database, you will be getting the link that you have sent, details that you have sent using the second cell. And in the third cell, what it does is Firebase application. Here you will be pasting the same link that you have previously done, and the third line is firebase.get. So this firebase.get will fetch your data from the Firebase and from which project. So that is the link that you are giving it here. So from this link under the details directory, all the information under details directory will be fetched by running this cell. So you will get the acknowledgement and the details on the horizontal notification that you get under the cell, which says email and the information that you have sent. So this was a small demonstration setup for you guys to clearly know how the data is sent to the Firebase and how backend people can access the data and how the data will be received back to your device. So all these things will be automated. Right now in this page, we have hard coded everything. So to give you a clear image what exactly will be happening. So this will be the end of hands-on session. So we will be getting back to the presentation. I want everyone to switch back to the presentation mode. Okay, for Sushant, I'll be explaining it again. Okay. I'll explain it again. In the second cell, all you are doing is you are getting the data and you are sending it to the Firebase with the eighth line on the second cell, which says firebase.post. With firebase.post, you will be sending your data to the Firebase directory under your link. And from third cell, with the same link that you have used in the second cell, in the line number 3, you are giving a command that firebase.get. So this line command will actually fetch the details from your Firebase on your link and the directory that you have specified, and will print the result down here. What exactly that we have done in our hands-on session example. So we have got all the data that we have sent for email, name, and phone number. You can run the second cell as many times as you want, and when you run the third cell, you will be getting back all the details that you have sent to the Firebase. So this was the demonstration setup for you guys to get the clear picture what will be happening when the device is sent to the cloud and how people will be accessing the details that is sent from your device, and how the device will react when you get back to your details. So these details what you have got down here, these details will be set up in such a way that your device will carry out the respective operations which it is designed for. So this is the process which actually will be happening on backend of every IoT device. So is there any questions regarding the hands-on session? Please put it in the chat box so that I can answer you guys. So are there no doubts? Yeah, thank you so much. Now you can get back to my presentation page. So as we have seen both the introduction and hands-on sessions, now you guys might have got basic knowledge of what IoT devices are and how IoT devices work. And discussing few examples, we have talked about the advantages of IoT too. So now let's talk about what are the disadvantages of IoTs. So on a wider perspective view, I have come across three main disadvantages of IoT. The first is privacy breach. As we are doing the Firebase setup as our cloud, we went on through normal pre-written security rules. So the actual developers of IoT devices will have to write tons and tons of code for just keeping their data transaction secure via internet. So the privacy breach, that is, if any hackers get onto the network, they can steal all the information that the device is sending, and they can manipulate the device by putting their information instead of what actually the backend or the backend server is sending the device to work for. So they can take complete handover of the IoT device. The second thing is over reliance on technology. Over reliance of technology will, IoT devices will make your job at one step easier. For example, going for SCADA design, the SCADA design will make the machines to work in a different location. You can control the whole machine sitting at a different location. So if there is any problem in accessing the machine due to some technical glitches, you will not be able to access the machine. So that will be the problem, and you will be over reliance on this technology. So loss of jobs. There are so many people losing their jobs because of this IoT technology, because there will be no room for people under these IoT devices, because everything will be controlled in backend itself. So moving on to conclusion, whether you are an individual, technology developer, or adopter of these technologies, the Internet of Things will stretch the boundaries of today's system. And the question is, are you prepared for the changes in the way we learn, we work, and we innovate? By this, I would like to end my session and thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I'm open now. You can put all your questions on the chat box and I'll reply it for you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Saptagirish. It was a nice session. All the participants, I hope it was helpful for you to gain some knowledge on IoT. So kindly reply in the chat box, how was the session? So before we end this session, okay, so we'll be sending to your mail ID, to your registered mail ID about the feedback. Please do give your valuable feedback about this webinar. Okay, even we'll send you the details like terms and conditions to download your e-certificates. So all this information will be sent to your registered mail IDs. Kindly check your mail IDs for the e-certificate and to give the feedback for this session. Okay. Yeah, Imran,
Thank you
you
so
just
much.
mail to our official mail ID. I'll get back to you, okay? For Imran Khan. You know our official mail ID, right? So you just mail me in that. So kindly check your mail IDs, registered mail IDs, okay? Okay, thank you all. Thank you so much. We'll wind up the session.
Yeah,
Have a nice day.
thank you so much for everyone who has attended this session. Thank you.
So now I'm going to send you our official mail ID for Imran. You just can mail me to this, okay? info_blar@akrontown.com. So if you want to ask any queries, please let us know to this. Once I end up this meeting, I'll send you the mail, okay? I'll send you all the information once we end this meeting.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much.